Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to another recording of DuckTales Remastered. I'm a little worried as we jump into the second to last level here that I'm just not going to get enough gold to unlock all the collectibles.
To hunt for the lost crown of Genghis Khan.
Shall I forward your call, sir?
Gee, can I come, Uncle Scrooge? I want to see the pretty Himalayan marmots.
Oh, not this time, Wibby darling. I need you here looking after the boys. Otherwise, who knows what kind of trouble they might get into.
Oh, that's very smart. Uncle Scrooge!
Indulge me, lads. The last thing this expedition needs is a wee lass about. Oh, I'm going to have enough trouble looking after the Launchpad.
So, what it seems like, and maybe this was the case, is that the original DuckTales cartoon had, I'm pretty sure they had some 2-3 part episodes for sure. But
Launchpad. I told
if
you
you
the
were going to
land
look
in
at
the
this
center of the
game, it
mountain
seems like
range,
they really
not
only
in the
had
center of a
5
mountain.
stories to
Gee,
tell.
Mr. McD, I thought that crash was rock solid.
The
Which
only
is
rocks around
kinda
here
weird,
are the
'cause
ones inside your head. Ugh,
if
we're
you-
nowhere near Shadow Pass,
If
and
you
the
were
lost
mining
crown
the stories
will
in the
fix his
comic
wreck so we
book
can get
series,
airborne and step on it,
you
lad.
almost
I'm
certainly
paying
would
you by
have.
the hour, and I'll nae having you billing me for overtime.
No problem, boss. As long as I have this fuel regulator, we're as good as... Whoopsie daisy. Oops. My mom always said I was a Butterfingers.
Oh no! Please tell me you've got another one of those.
Sure I do. But it's back in Duckburg.
Launchpad!
Don't worry, Mr. McD. I'll climb
A lot of
down and
dialogue
get it.
here.
You'll do no such thing. I'll get it. You stay here and try not to cause any more damage.
Okay, you're the boss.
This is kind of a great example of a game that would not really be benefited by having more dialogue. Apparently Weeby snuck over. So let's start by jumping over here and looking at the menu. Wow, it seems like we are going to go full circle.
Oh, I know what a TV dinner feels like.
Alright, so we're all... It seems like you can't even use your main attack. This is odd. So, if this was the first level you were gonna try and play, you would almost certainly be struggling with the extra little bit of challenge that you would have here. Because now all you can really do is jump and avoid goats, I suppose. Yeah, I can't really hit the goat so too well. They seems like they just respawn anyways. So it seems like your goal is to get under these guys. It's been a little bit since I last played, so I might be a little bit rusty here, but those just kind of also feel like the game is encouraging me to take some damage. Yeah, almost every instance in which you can hit them is not a good opportunity, but you're also kind of slowed down here, so you're kind of not in a good position to try and avoid things by running. And so I jumped down there, but it didn't seem like it would have mattered. And all of a sudden spikes like that hurt me. Okay, good to know. And this game gives so much health. At least right now it is. Now, my fear, there's kind of two ways this goes. Well, I suppose the third way is that it is just possible to play on easy and not unlock everything, and then you'd have to play on maybe some other difficulty to unlock the rest things. Or, like, since this game is no longer available, that would be weird if there was some kind of internal flaw here where you really just could not succeed to unlock all the extras at all.
Here now, don't touch that. I need it to fix my plane. Stop! Oh, it's too late. Those bunny bandits have torn it apart. I've got to find those pieces fast.
Why does he have to find them fast? And we can see there's...
I think we get to be number one by backing down.
There's 3 collectibles. But I can't go here, so almost certainly you'd have to play this a second time. Or is it a case where you are supposed to... no, you fall down on this side too, so you can choose your path, but you would have to play this level twice or go through this level twice, which maybe you're going to just canonically have to go around in circles anyways.
I'm like a money magnet.
So now we're up to 6 hearts. And I kind of wonder if you played the levels out of order, maybe they've reprogrammed it in such a way that you would not get hard upgrades even if you did play out of order. And so I can either go down or I can stay where I am. We're running into some slick things, and here we have some ducks on ice skates. Which, okay, fair enough. And I guess this ice, these little cubes break. And those slide, so if I hit it before he hits it, I can kill him, but that's not likely to happen.
Now to find the other 2 pieces.
So it's kind of an oddly set up level because you're kind of not really doing. Right, it is to the left. It's the only way. I hear a sound effect, and that was him climbing. And Mrs. Beakley's never in a place.
This will keep your insides warm and toasty.
This is gonna be funny. She's gonna give him ice cream and cake still. That's gonna keep you nice and toasty.
Of course, but I'll find my own way out. Thank you very much.
They didn't even bother to change it to cake, which would at least make more sense. Or you could have written a line of dialogue that said, you're all skin and bones in this cold environment, you need to put on a few pounds for insulation, something along that line. So I didn't actually have to jump on the bunny to get up there. Let's see. That didn't work. We still don't want to fall down holes, right? Yeah, we don't really have a consistent reason why we'd want to do that. And these ice skating guys aren't so troublesome that you can't just hit them. The bunnies move horizontally in a way that makes them a little bit more difficult. So do I want to keep going to the left and go around in a circle, or do I want to go to the right? I think what you do is you want to go down here all the way around. Or you know what? Let's just see how this works. We'll just go to the left, which is the wrong direction you'd normally expect to go. At some point here I'm gonna need to turn on hard pogo and see how that works. Actually, this might work pretty well, because like now we're here. Let's just go down this way. But I can't turn it on right now, so it must not be available inside easy mode. It would be my guess.
It's a priceless ruby.
So you have to get close to these stalagmites, I think are what they are. See, I can never remember whether it's mite or tight. Like, because a stalagmite might fall, a stalactite is holding tight to the ceiling. So there's two different mnemonics. Only one is right. So how are you supposed to know without actually just memorizing the one correct mnemonic and forgetting the other one? I have a tendency to always somehow end up learning both of them, and both the wrong and the right one. Let me ask this, would it be easier to just run? Interesting, they competed there and won instead of it staying in the middle. And that will kill. These levels have a danger of getting a little too long. Like this one in particular is a lot of going back and forth. So yeah, I definitely feel a lack of desire to play this multiple times. And yeah, I'm falling to my death every now and then, and yeah, compared to, that's not too different from what was happening in Shovel Knight. The only major difference there is like, alright, so this looks like if I just jump to the right, I would just fall to my death. So I'm not gonna do that. The thing about Shovel Knight though is I really didn't get anywhere as far as I am here, and the controls here do seem to be a lot more accommodating and tight Like, it does feel like I can pretty easily air control and make sure I am going to land in the exact spot I want to land on. But there is kind of a lack of reaction time. Let's see. Yeah, that won't work. Right. Hit that. Hit that. So, yeah, I could easily foresee that this would have been a nightmare to actually play in its original format, and that WayForward has probably done a really good job in just improving the quality. So I'm gonna climb up here. That way I can set a checkpoint in case I die, which there's a decent chance of that. These, interesting, take a lot of damage, but they are breakable if you hit them from the top.
Got me, kilts. It's Bubba Duck. Looks like that poor little pea brain got caught in a deep freeze.
So, we're freeing a character.
Scrooge, ooga ooga. Scrooge,
He's just gonna make a
There, little fella.
little cameo.
Scrooge, save Bubba. Scrooge, save Bubba. Scrooge, save Bubba.
So, yeah, it feels like there's really only 5 episodes in the cartoon, and I feel like that's
You know,
not the
I
case.
could use a bit of help smashing away this giant ice.
So,
What do you say, Bubba?
it's really a shame that this isn't on sale, first of all, because this totally is a game that should be on sale. But it's also a shame that that they didn't add more content. He seems like he's trying. He's certainly trying to smash all the rabbit, but he's not actually capable of doing it. So let's get over here and collect that first. But there's no way, still no ground to hit. So come down here, hit these, so you can collect more gems. You do kind of embrace the mentality of Scrooge McDuck in this. It's like open this. In this game, you're trying to get all the gold, and I'm perfectly happy with OCD collectible games. Like I've certainly played a lot of them in my lifetime, and it certainly embraced. Oh man, so I screwed that up. I don't think there's any way to, like, you can't bounce on him. So I would have had to have gotten on that brick first.
This is the end of the line, Bubba. It's time for you to head to the surface.
Bubba home with Scrooge.
Aye, Launchpad is waiting to take you home to Duckburg. On your way now.
They certainly went in a lot of weird directions, I'll admit, with the stories. But that's fine. If anything, I would say a lot of cartoons these days do seem to want to stick to their own kind of canon, so much so that they aren't willing to go wild and just have a standalone story that. So we did the entire bottom part. Alright, so I think we've covered this area pretty nicely. Yeah. Yeah, the Looney Tune mentality where you can just tell a story and you can like Donald Duck or somebody is just in Greece one time, or in the past one time, or in one area or another area, or another time frame. That's been forgotten now. Everything is serialized, which doesn't even really make a lot of sense. At least for the past couple of decades. It's not until we get to things like Netflix where the odds of you watching something out of order is pretty low in Netflix. But they've been moving to serialized content for a long time. Alright. So can I hit this? No. Interesting. So what's funny is it does look like, nope, there's just this way and this way. Yeah, and I'm gonna get about 1 million, and then I assume what we might do is we might run into some kind of boss fight, but this might just be a straight up challenge on this might be just a challenge on the level of fighting enemies and accommodating the fact that you can't jump. So I have to hit there. Now when I touch these ropes, I have to hit upward. And hit that. That way we can just make sure. But you really would never come from this direction. And if I fell down that hole, I think I'd still probably die, even though logically I should just end up where I was. Alright. So I left a gem over there.
Once an adventurer, always an adventurer.
In favor of getting these items. So he was there specifically so you could bounce up. Like, it doesn't really feel like we're gonna run into a boss fight, but maybe we will. And those guys still not greatest of enemies. Just gotta be careful. But yeah, at least on easy, this is still super easy. This is probably the most difficult level I've played so far, and it's still fine. It's not gonna drive me insane and make me frustrated. And so if that stayed there, now I guess you have a shortcut. But isn't Weeby gonna play a role
Now get
here?
this bucket of bolts back in the sky.
Just a tick,
Or-
Mr. McD. This order.
Are we gonna have to go around in a second time?
Now there's your problem.
Webigail, what in the world are you doing here?
I keep calling a Weeby.
Pretty crown, Uncle Scrooge.
Oh, great.
I guess it's Webigail.
You and Launchpad.
But I can help, Uncle Scrooge. You're not like the boys, are you? You don't think I'm just a worthless tag-along, do you?
We're ready for liftoff, Mr. McD.
Ah, not a moment too soon. Strap in tight, Webby dear.
Off we go. Nothing but blue skies ahead. Clear as a bell.
So
Not
is
a
this
cloud in
possibly
sight.
going to be a
Launchpad. Knock
flying
off that infernal chatter.
Gee whiz. I was
flying
only trying to
minigame?
lighten the mood.
If anything, we need to lighten the plane. Feels like she's lost maneuverability with all the unexpected cargo we seem to have picked up.
No worries, Mr. McD. I've got the coordinates for Shadow Pass locked in. We'll be there lickety-split.
More like lickety-splat.
Glomgold.
Yeah, I believe this is his number 2 richest person.
To whom do I owe my
His
thanks?
rival.
Idiotic pilot. Or did you play it safe and let those 2 wee ones fly the plane?
You dirty cheat. Only you could sink so low.
And at 15,000 feet, no less.
Complain all you like. The lost crown of Genghis Khan will look right at home on my feathered noggin. Wouldn't you say, Scroogey?
That's what you think. You'll never beat us to Shadow Pass.
It would be weird. It is
the
weird
bounties in Shadow
that
Pass,
the
eh?
minecart
Thanks for telling me.
mini games exist in the NES version. I assume they do. But a modern game certainly.
Come on, boys. One
Alright,
old
so
duck with a cane should see
what are we doing?
takedowns.
Wow.
So
Usually for a ride like this, you have to buy a ticket.
we're supposed to hit these and then jump on this guy.
This is the craziest flight I've ever flown.
So that's not what I thought this was going to be. It does work though. It certainly stops you from having to program a section where Scrooge takes over control of the plane, which is not something I think Scrooge would do, because being a rich person, he instead has someone else do his dirty work and do all the actual work. I think that was that. That was a rather easy boss fight compared to the other ones.
Showed him that cheaters never cheat and winners never win, didn't we?
Try it the other way around and I couldn't agree more, Webby. Pickle me, pin feathers. There it is. Shadow Pass directly ahead.
Be
Take us
weird
down,
if there's
Launchpad.
more level
Slow and
here.
steady this time.
No problem.
But if there is more level here, maybe then this is being the second to last level, it's twice as
We're
long.
close to that treasure now. I can almost smell it.
It would also be weird though if there was 2 boss fights back to back.
That definitely wasn't me.
Whatever it is, it won't last long if it tries to get between me and the lost crown.
Uncle Scrooge, don't go.
Don't worry, lassie. Whatever is in that cave is no match for your Uncle Scrooge. I earn my fortune by being smarter than the smarties and tougher than the toughies. If anything's in there, it had better step aside.
But I'm scared.
Stay with Launchpad. He'll take good care of you.
Stay with Launchpad. Gee, now I'm extra scared.
So yeah, we do have a short section here. And let's see, we can't walk back. And I'm potentially going to die before I get to the boss fight. Or a worser case scenario is I'm going to make it to the boss fight and then die. But I imagine it doesn't really matter. So finally we are past the snow sections. This is almost certainly a section that was reworked compared to the original game to be easier. But certainly not bad on easy. Although that last jump, that looks like that's going to be a long one. Yeah, I don't even know how to avoid these guys. So it's probably easiest just to move fast and take a couple of hits and then just move on. Yeah, and yeah, that was just a rather long jump. But it does go to show you really do have a rather long jump. And there's a health hidden. So this is going to be like an abominable snowman, obviously. So I imagine this is going to be more pattern based. So am I supposed to duck or what? There we go. So we hit the ice to get him on the ground. And this is just all avoid stuff. I wasn't under it, darn it. Alright, so do you duck here? Does that work? No, it doesn't. So I gotta figure out what side to be on. And then dodge. And we'll see if this is gonna change up his patterns any, or if this just need to hit him 3 times or what. And then I guess he floats in the air long enough that you can run under him without taking any damage. This totally does feel like a case where they're gonna want you to really not take any damage at all if you're playing this on like extremely difficult. So I imagine what we'll do, as I'm about to lose here, is this going to give us any opportunity to get any new health? Nope. So you're just going to have to start over again? That's fine. I can figure this out. So what we'll probably do after playing the beating the game is we'll try it on extremely difficult, see what it feels like. We'll try the hard pogo function, but more than likely we won't go any further. And I don't know really if I want to bother. Oops, too quick on that one. I don't know if I want to bother to play the game on like easy instead of very easy, which, I mean, I guess we're playing it on easy right now. There is no very easy. I don't know if I would want to play the game on normal just to unlock all the collectibles. It's not like they're that interesting. And certainly, I guess if you have nostalgia for one of the cartoon shows, although I feel like none of this content is related to the new cartoon show at all. If I was to guess, I think this is all just a remake of the original game, which would be based on the original cartoon show, which is, I think, somewhat loosely based on the comic, which no telling how much changed, because I certainly didn't read the comic or anything, so I have no idea how true to the comic book the cartoon was, the original cartoon was. But yeah, definitely seems like I'd like more. Probably double, not triple.
Please stop!
Webby!
She's gonna befriend.
Scrooge, that poor fuzzy lady didn't mean any harm.
Ma'am, don't be daft, lass. This monster tried to pummel me. Why, I nearly cashed my last check.
Yeah, I believe in this episode, Weeby gets lost and befriends him. Befriends the snow monster.
Webby, you understand this creature?
Of course, Uncle Scrooge.
I keep calling her Weeby.
I'm in a Junior Woodchuck guidebook.
What's she saying now?
She says she's sorry if she hurt you. She's just upset because she stepped on a thorn and can't get it out.
A thorn? You don't suppose... Here's your thorn, Webigail. The lost crown of Genghis Khan.
The pretty crown! You found it!
Hey, the poor creature was standing on it. Webby, I cannot thank you enough. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. Without your help, we never would have found the treasure. Oh, and thanks to you too, ma'am.
I think she likes you, Uncle Scrooge.
Well, that's odd. Usually it's me the ladies go gaga for.
Aye, well, let's get home before she grows any fonder of me.
Suppose it is worth mentioning. It's kind of weird that Uncle Scrooge gets all these kids dumped upon him, but he is rich, so frankly, if I had a if I was a parent and I had a brother or a sister who was rich, they could easily take them on adventures and pay for their education and keep them in good states. I might consider loaning the kids out. Like, you could assume these are extended vacations, but the cartoon never really implied that, so it does leave you with the feeling that the parents of these kids just abandoned them on the doorstep of Uncle Scrooge.
And patience. Right, Uncle Scrooge?
Right you are, Webby darling. Now, where's Bubba run off to?
Yeah, where is he? He was here a minute ago.
Why does no answer, Papa?
He's over there having a tea party with Webby's toys.
No. Baba smash.
Uh-oh, Webby. Sounds like Bubba's not getting along so good with your Quacky Patch dolls. You keep away from my dolls, mister!
Remember, kindness and patience, Webigail. Set a good example for the lad. Well then, what treasure shall we look for next?
So, yeah, we'll jump in the place again. It still doesn't feel like it went any higher. Although we've never really gotten much above 1 million gold. But the game would feel kind of ridiculous if we were just playing it over and over again. Like, that's where it really would just boil down into a deep love of this game that I fully admit I don't have. So we didn't unlock all of these, and it seems like we don't need to. Good. So let's see if we can just purchase the sketches enough to, like, the sketches really look a lot like the concept art. So I'm trying to be efficient with the money, because clearly, unless I get like 10 million for beating the whole game, or there's some kind of money-making minigame, which would be nice if there was, I don't see how I'd be able to unlock everything on one playthrough. And yeah, I don't know if it's really worth my time even off-screen to try and play this game a second time to get all of that. I might look at like the achievements and see how far I am at the end of the game, and then maybe that would encourage me to beat it. But I know there is an achievement, come to think of it, around like this image here, these sketches in particular, that concept art then just gets repeated, not here but here. It's the exact same thing. So from a rough concept art pencil sketch to an actual polished finished pencil sketch, and now we can unlock pencil renders. Let's see, and we only have a little bit left. So it went from a rough line drawing with none of the lines that were wrong erased, to a pencil sketch where it was cleaned up, to now a shaded pencil drawing. That they're showing the steps in which you would develop an image and the steps of animation, but you kind of need to say that out loud for people to get that. Yeah. It seems to me like we're probably, yeah, since there's so many things getting left behind, you'd probably have to play this game 3 times in a row, unless you just get a ton more gold. Or maybe I spent more money on the characters than needed to be spent. So, and you still can't turn on hard pogo. And you can't go back and do any of the levels. So yeah, next recording we do the moon, and unless it unlocks a secondary set of levels, which that would be cool. Honestly though, I think 5 more levels maximum. Like, I was thinking when I first started playing this 15 levels, but there's not enough variety in the gameplay mechanics here. And there's not enough variety in the collectibles. This is a really good remaster of an old game, but it's still based on an old game, where a modern game would have a lot more variety in general to do. Well, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.